Three wide, 43 still outside, right there, you see it.
I don't think he can see anything.
Carl Edwards on pole sitter.
He almost made it through. Got some damage right there near the end of it.
KASEY KANE.
Darrell, he did the same thing with his hands that Jimmy Johnson did in that wreck on lap 1.
We've had in-car cameras in these cars for years, and up until recently have I seen drivers let go of the wheel and tuck their hands away and out of the harm's way like that. They've learned a lot about this over the last year or two.
Keep in mind, KASEY KANE is a longtime open wheeler, owns a sprint car team. A defensive posture, a learned response when something like that happens. And with our new dual path onboard cameras, we can give you two views from the in-car. Here's what Jamie Mack has to say.
Broke on my car. That's what it was. I think they measured the 42. Spun out on it.
Well, you think about it, before Montoya hit that jet dryer, he was complaining about his race car, and you could see him wiggling down the back straightaway. Heard Jamie just say, maybe the same thing happened to my car.
Both the Chip Ganassi cars out of the race. There's Almirola, the new driver for Richard Petty. Ran a strong 500. But he'll be out of the race with 11 laps to go.
Well, I don't know if this changes anything or not. It could when we have a restart here with Kenseth and Biffle up there on the front row. You know, Junior gets behind Biffle again, or behind Kenseth again. That's a pretty stout pair right there.
Regan Smith able to continue with that damage, and it looks like so too will Carl Edwards. Not so the 43.
Several guys have slipped in the picture here, Mike. Mark Martin's up to 8th. He's been kind of riding around back there all the race long. He's got a teammate up there in Martin Truex. There's some good teammate combinations right now.
Yeah, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., one of the Roush Fenway drivers, he's made his way up to 12th in that 6th car.
Down on the inside, McMurray loses control. It's on. That was before this most recent accident, the 9th caution of the day.
You know, every time I can recall saying to myself, I'd hear a wee voice inside of me say, they're going to wreck. And every time I didn't react to what I was thinking, I ended up regretting it. And I think there's a perfect example of, you know they're going to wreck. What do? I mean, you know, you can't stop. You got to keep going.
Well, interestingly, Darrell, about 8 cars have been hanging out 1 to 2 seconds behind the lead pack, perhaps anticipating that very thing.
Well, I think we see it. The spotters saw it. You know, they're talking about it. They're going to wreck.
7 drivers involved in that pileup. Jamie McMurray, Brad Keselowski, KASEY KANE. As you look at Matt Kenseth, who's led 38 laps tonight. Now, he beat Greg Biffle on the final lap Thursday. What will happen tonight in these closing laps? 129 races since Dale Jr.'s been to victory lane.
It's going to be a drag race. I mean, you're going to have Kenseth and Biffle on the front row. You got Earnhardt and Hamlin behind them. And Harvick's right there. He's good. Burton's good. Those first 6 cars, it's going to be a drag race.
Jeff Burton trying to win the Daytona 500. He's run second here a couple of times. Paul Menard, that big win at the Brickyard last year. Mark Martin, 3 decades of trying to win this race.
You know, just a little bit ago, Clint Boyer was 2 laps down. Now he's back on the lead lap in 22nd spot. So he's made up a couple of laps here in the last little bit.
Just saw Ryan Newman there. He's got the free pass 2 times in this race.
2-time champ Jerry Labonte, he's on the lead lap in the 23rd place, hanging around.
And in the closing laps of the Budweiser shootout a week ago Saturday night, Kyle Busch took a wrecked car, drove it to the front, and won. Joey Logano, his teammate, can he give Busch the boost to get to the front? Ricky Stenhouse didn't have a cup ride for this season. Jack Roush had a golden ticket for the number 6, a guaranteed start in the first 5 races. Cap Stenhouse to drive.
This kid's a really good little shoe, Stenhouse is, and of course my old buddy David Ruderman. It's good to see him. He's kept that thing out of trouble. He's sitting there in 14th place. And here's my man,
Series champion Tony Stewart, 15.
He's won 17 races at Daytona, but never the Daytona 500.
David Gilliland, 3rd last year, trying to prove that was no fluke.
Well, you know, when I was 17 and I was trying to win my 17th, I said, maybe I'm going to finish 17th. Right now, Smoke's running 15th. So he's 14 on his 14th try.
The only number I'm concerned about, Darrell, is 200. That's the lap number I want to see up on that scoreboard. Woo, baby. 9 to go.
Continue making repairs to Carl Edwards' car. He's still on the lead lap. We've got 23 drivers on the lead lap.
So after Gilliland at 16th position, Tony Raines running 17th in a 3rd car for Front Row Motorsports.
You know, we saw Rick Hendrick down there a little bit ago, Mike, and I talked to him about 3 o'clock this afternoon. He was in Charlotte. He said he's worried about the weather. I said, I don't think it's going to rain, boss. I think you ought to come on down. And so here he is down here again. And just one more time, I want to thank him for that helping hand he gave all of us on the Fox team this past week. We really appreciate it, Rick.
Now, all of these are lead lap cars. 1 to go. Jamie McMurray and Brad Keselowski checked and released from the infield care center.